Yo, what is up, folks? Trev TCG here, and we're taking a look at the Quintorius version of the Discover combo deck, and I'm brought onto the scene by Yuuki Ichikawa, who won the Pioneer Challenge last weekend with this exact list. It is very, very solid, like has a lot of consistency in it. I got a bunch of like mana acceleration here. We've got a bunch of interaction, which is something like I can start to say about the other deck, where like, hey, you actually got a reasonable amount of interaction, especially in a field where on Arena at the minute, these decks are everywhere. Being the more interactive ones does seem like a pretty big advantage, and also like fairly solid, like a better game plan versus more like controller decks can actually interact with you. So let's actually have a look at the deck. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So the combo itself: Quintorius Kand, he Planeswalker, 5 mana, 3 red, white, comes in a 4 loyalty, and has a static ability. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, Quintorius Kand deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. This is what you actually use to win the game. You don't have to go to combat to win with this deck. You're just going to cast a bunch of spells from exile by discovering, and win that way. +1, make a 3/2, -3, discover 4, -6, exile a number of target cards from your graveyard, add a red for each card exiled this way. Those guys on the turn. Generally, you're going to play this. If it resolves, you're going to -3, and you're going to ideally win the game. So that -3 lets you discover 4. Discover 4 is going to hit one of either Spark Double and Clever Impersonator. These are your only EMC 4 or less cards in the deck. Clever Impersonator can copy any normal permanent, so it can copy the Quintorius, which is fine, and you can discover again. But what you actually want to do is you want to start hitting Spark Doubles. So if you hit a Clever Impersonator, okay, you keep the Impersonator as a copy of Quintorius. You discover again. This one goes. You're casting this from exile, so you get to trigger the 2 damage ability there. So hey, you're not losing too much. But the real kind of how this works is that eventually one of these will hit a Spark Double. Spark Double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control with an initial +1/+1 counter or loyalty, and it isn't legendary, which means you can have Quintorius and Spark Double Quintorius in play, and these, whenever you cast a spell from exile, abilities stack. Again, you're going to -4, you're going to cast all of these, and all of a sudden that 2 becomes 4, becomes 6, becomes 8, and you're going to dome your opponent for lethal damage. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. That's how the combo works. The rest of the deck's kind of built on either helping you kind of accelerate to it, or interacting. The other Discover card, of course, is Trumpeting Carnosaur. Carnosaur, Discover 5, is going to hit a Quintorius, a Spark Double, or an Impersonator. You can copy the Carnosaur till you hit a Quintorius, which will then eventually you'll hit a Spark Double, because you go off exactly the same way. Carnosaur is 6 mana, which is obviously more expensive, but does have some interaction here. 2 in a red, you can discard it. 3 damage to that creature Planeswalker. Really, really awesome. Interact with things like Grease Fang. Interact with the other version of this combo deck, with the Geomancers. And yeah, really, really solid that way. We also have, then, after you're kind of got 4 Trumpeting Carnosaur, 4 Quintorius Kand, that is, you're going to ramp, cast one of these, win the game. The ramp we're actually talking about here, so we've got Beanstalk Giant and Greater Tanuki. The nice thing about Tanuki is that it's a panel effect, so it can't be something that can't really be interacted with. Beanstalk Giant, obviously, hey, 3 mana search, nice. I've seen people play Spring to Mind here, which is reasonable, but these effects are, you're not going to pay 6 mana to flash back the Spring to Mind. It's largely fine, but he's going to get you to 3 to 5 mana. Get the land here, play land for turn. All of a sudden you've got 5 Quintorius. Or get you closer to that 6 for Carnosaur. Migration is a nice one. Simply some mana fixing, 1 in a green, discard it, switch over for a basic land, and you gain 3 life. This is really important actually, because we're playing Triomes here with Leyline Binding. Like I said, this version of the deck's more interactive. We've got the 4 Carnosaurs, we've got Leyline Binding, and we also have Virtue Persistence and Consign to Oblivion. Leyline Binding being a great answer for pretty much everything, and it's enabled by the Triomes, using the Triomes along with some basics here, and Migration, Giant, and Tanuki help fix for that. And then additionally, Consign to Oblivion, 1 in a blue, return target non-land permanent to its hand. Nice, it's cheap interaction, awesome. The instant speed, so if it's got problematic permanent stopping you from kind of comboing, you can end of turn bounce that thing, and then untap and Quintorius or Carnosaur. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Virtue is also very important, especially versus aggro decks. -3, -3, and gain 2 life gets you so much time, and really, really solid. And if you somehow get to super late game, you get to Virtue and start bringing back Carnosaurs. I don't know. That's a bit of a pipe dream, but it's there. Then we have the combo the ramp, the interaction. Really, really solid. The mana base, so again, we're playing Triome's basics with a couple of shocks here. So 2 Zagoth, 2 Indartha, 2 Ketria, 2 Xander's Lounge, 2 Phoenix Tower. As far as lands go, we need our green sources for our fixing, so 4 Stomping Ground for Overgrown Team, which also casts Virtue early. Then also 2 Mountains, 2 Swamps, and Islander planes to find with the High Migration, the Beastal Giant, and the Tanuki. Because everything costs 3 or more, Karuga just makes sense. Here it is, very free. You eventually will just get to like, okay, I've got some Leyline Bindings in play, and end up Karuga to draw some cards. Hey, the games can go a little long. I am going to play the best of 3 today, so we're going to have a look at the sideboard. So, along with that Karuga, we have some of these split cards, which obviously the idea here is like, hey, you can't have anything with CMC 5 or less, other than Quintorius and the combo pieces, you've got a Carnosaur. And so, all these split cards here count as being CMC 8. So, 4 copies of Bedazzle, +3, -3. You can pretty much ignore the Bedazzle half here. Destroy non-basic land, not going to get for that. But hey, cheap interaction for aggro and things like Grease Fang. We have Repudiate and Replicate. This is an awesome, awesome card. It's actually started getting played in Team of Rhinos in Modern. But blue, can't target activate or trigger ability. Or Replicate here, 1 green, blue, create a token that's copied to a creature you control. This is a spell, you see it's got converted mana cost 5, but because that Replicate ability copies a creature you control, you can actually play it alongside Carnosaur. Usually use to copy the Carnosaur, gets this got 5 again. Doesn't stop you comboing, but carrying like activate and trigger abilities super awesome. Your opponent's never going to expect that. 4 copies of Thought Distortion here. Look, you rely on resolving 1 spell. You can't really beat counter magic, and so Thought Distortion here versus control decks like blue white just gets rid of all their stuff, which is very important. And the last couple of cards on the sideboard are 2 Shepherd Monitors. These are more ways for you to kind of like ramp and fix. I think this is more if you're trying to lean into the higher migration plan. But 4 mana to cycle, you can search your library for a basic or a desert, put onto the battlefield, and then shuffle, and you also get to draw the card, which is pretty nice. So it's a ramp, it's a draw, and again, like if you're trying to actually ramp towards, I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, but I think they're trying to lean more into, hey, we've got a backup plan to lean more into actually using high migration as a win condition. And like where your opponent's going to have more interaction for the combo pieces. We'll see. So, with that in mind, I'm going to hop into some best of 3 ranked matches. And again, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. More videos coming out. But yeah, let's get into some ranked matches. Alright, first ranked match here with Quintorius Combo will be on the play. See how this goes. Ooh, okay. So, one thing here is that this deck can really take advantage of mulliganing. We don't want any of these cards in our opener. Just gonna put that back in, and then here, like we can actually red, green, white. If we draw a land, we'll have Ultra Tanuki away. We've got like some interaction. I think keeping this is better than going to 5. So let's keep this. Obviously, put the Spark double on the bottom. We want that in our library. We'll lead on tap Stomping Ground. Things go. We'll hopefully get a couple of matches in here, depending on the matchup. Stomping Ground for our opponent. We still see a Puncture Giant. Sorry, Puncture Giant? Beastal Giant. So we just need to draw a land here. Untap land, please. Red, green, white. We have a Leyline Binding. Beanstalk here. I think I'm going to pass, just hold up Binding, in case there's something we need to interact with. And if not, we can go ahead and channel. Power Migration highly implies that they're going to be playing the same deck as us. Very likely. I don't know if it's something with the matchmaking where it puts like very similar decks against each other, because I've been playing a ton of mirrors while I've been recording these matches. If you've seen the other video that I put together, like there were like 3 mirrors in a row. Like, okay, not ridiculous. But we'll see. One of the interesting things is that like all the creature interaction doesn't interact well with Quintorius. Here I actually want a blue source, right? Yeah. Untap. Gonna fire off a Beastal Giant. Is there a second planes? Be really wondering here. There isn't, so I'm gonna grab a swamp, I think. feel like I should grab it. Fine. We've got our piece of interaction with the Leyline Binding. See what they do. The way these matchup play out is a bit tricky. There's a bit of a like, oh, okay. They maybe have consign or like one piece of interaction. Maybe like a Carnosaur is their like way to interact. So there's just a lot of passive backwards and forwards. This one kind of jams it. If you can jam it, then have an answer into like jamming again, then it might be good. So like we have Quintorius here. They can, when we minus, kill this. We had so if the card they have is Leyline Binding, then we can like Leyline Binding back on our turn. But if the card they have is just Carnosaur, it's a be a little worrying. I think I want to put steps here so we can Quintorius and have a Leyline Binding available on our next turn. That was fun. Also means that we've got two pieces of interaction between the consign and the Leyline Binding. They try and combo us. We'll see, we'll see. What's the... yeah, don't get hit. No problem. Running a spot double is not the greatest, but kind of not the worst at the same time. There only being one planes in the Decklist is actually a problem here. We were able to fetch a second planes and we could Quintorius with Leyline Binding. As it is, we can't really afford to do that. It's a little tricky. I think I'm gonna play safe here. Add Karuga. Oh, it's... we'll see what they have. They're just gonna pass back. Oh. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I need to try and force some movement. I guess pretty much all the none of the Zagoth triumphs, but most of the Trilands will tap for white. I'm just gonna blind Karuga here. Hold it below Iron Binding. They are also gonna have the same problem. That's I think everyone's gonna have a single planes. But it is what it is. This is not necessarily a great show to watch. So think about it. Once we have another white source, we can look at jamming Quintorius. We could also like next turn just spot a double as a card. I was not prepared for this. I also don't know why they wouldn't destroy planes. I'll be honest. Plan here. Yeah, I've mostly played the Geomancer version that sometimes I hear like, okay, well this is fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack for 5 here. Got so much interaction. If they do just fire off a bunch of bedazzles, then we're gonna be in a really weird spot. Bringing up Quintorius is... yeah, I'm just gonna end turn. They're gonna bedazzle again. Would be... okay. So if they green... oh, my great's in here. I'll just get any green. I mean, attacking the mana is a... if they have a bunch left is pretty good way to do this. Fine. I still really want to spot a double the Karuga and just like draw some cards. Well, I'll draw a card. But while they kind of refuse to interact with this, we're in the driving seat. Let me see if for that we have to play the Triumph. Second white sword. I'm slightly worried they're just going to carry on bedeviling us until we actually lose. But, yeah. I'm going to bounce. There's some versions of the deck do play Colossal Skytail, which is quite nice. Like, the ability to kind of use as a regrowth to return a card from grade to your hand, pretty good. The kind of bounce effect, fine. Not the end of the world. I kind of wanted to discard the Karuk. Did not do that. That's fine. We have enough things to like be able to keep jamming our combo, but if they can interact with another turn, we need to be able to defend when they try and go for their combo. Real baller players to gonna binding. The real baller players to just play Quintorius and just make a 3-2. See what they decide to do here. Leyline binding is a weakness. It's a Mythos. Mythos creates a copy of target. Oh, permanent. Oh damn. Play some games. It's still kind of going. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Would I rather consign? I see. Would rather Carnosaur. I maybe should have done this in the first place. So let's talk about there's some new adaptations. I've seen some people playing Mythos. Versus specifically like this version of the deck where you're like holding on Quintorius and you're gonna have Leyline bindings. Oh well, versus Leyline binding or permanent base removal, it is really good. So you can do this. There's a question of how many Mythos do they have versus how many whatever. I have a Carnosaur if I do this. Yeah, this goes. Gonna make them have something. I'm sure they do, but getting rid of a Carnosaur is fine. Fine, it's one of our effects here. They have 2 unknown cards. One of them could be a combo piece. We know one of them is bar double. Asking Beast Giant is powerful. Happen. Never upkeep. I think we're dead. Graveyard. I don't have mana. So we can consign this still. It's fine, I think. Go. You not just randomly tap my one. Or actually, I'm tapping my blue source, so I can't really. A green, black, red. Like 1 swamp left. 1 minute. The consign is generally quite a lot worse. So this card ability is something that would actually come up. Down to like, do I want to beanstalk? Do I want to leyline giant the beanstalk so we can draw cards of Kariga? It's dangerous. Let's live dangerously. I think is the way to do this now. We're living very dangerously, kind of throwing all caution to the wind here. If they have a Quintorius Kand, so they win. But if they don't, still use one of each. They just have a leyline by now. Okay. Go on. Spot double here is actually nice. Okay. Otherwise, you'd be able to just slam Virtue and call it there. What does this mean? I know mining's still our best hand. Oh, you can't afford. My cast Krieger here. Cast Krieger draw a card. Go get our last. Alright, well, they drew into Quintorius anyway. How many copy effects have they got left in that deck? Should be enough. They should have 3 spot doubles in. And this is how the combo works. Potentially we should just try to jam it, but I think they have. Trying to play the long game is probably like. This is how, so they're gonna spot double now. They go 2 Quintoria. Spot double comes into Quintorius. They discover again. Another spot double. This one's gonna shoot me for 6. And then whatever they cast over this is gonna shoot me. So, yeah. Well, that's game 1. Oh, 3 games of this match. Yeah, we might not get a second. Okay, what do we want to actually... I like the idea of bringing the repudiates in. And so Thought Distortion takes on the interaction. The problem is that a bunch of the interactions just like creatures, the things that the Thought Distortion. So like, I don't like the deck. It's not good here. We're doing this. We actually want to board out the Virtues. They're really bad. Until you have 7 mana, and then they're medium. And then Design's largely terrible. Maybe play it as like a discard account. Try and get head up mana, try and copy them. Or beat them down with random 5 lives and 10 turns. We'll play. We'll Mulligan. This is a weird one. We have a piece of interaction, so I think I'm going to keep Triple Bones to the Giant. It's actually kind of, oh well, double Beanstalk Giant. I'm putting one of these back. This is actually kind of fine. The Carnosaur being both a combo piece and also doubling as a piece of interaction is really nice. Drawing the played it like a set. Played it like a set. Okay. Migration. You probably want to keep migration, and maybe let's use the win condition if we can do it. I'm gonna find an island here. So unlike the other version of the deck, there's no like treasure making cards to like kind of get you a turn 3 combo, which is one way you can kind of one advantage the Geomancer deck has over this one. Yeah, I want to go green. Do I? No. I'll find a white source. There's that. Now, ramping up a storm. Depending on what they do here, we can just make a Carnosaur. But it leaves us vulnerable to the combo. They have 3 mana, including red. If they have a Leyline Binding, they can answer the Carnosaur. But then the Leyline Binding sits in play as a bit of a problem for them. Danger is that they have an untapped land and can untap it. There aren't a ton of untapped lands. There are a reasonable number. I'm still going to slam this. Is basically what it comes down to. If you don't have the tools here to interact, we'll basically chat to see, hey, do you have a Leyline Binding? The problem even then is that with Carnosaur, that Discover 5 ability can still hit Quintorius, and if we hit Quintorius, then we win the game. I think they probably do have Leyline Binding, but I don't know what to do. Still they boarded. Well, and in regards to Bedazzle, while you can use it as a 6 mana Stone Rain, boarding it in for that purpose seems pretty bad. You're just not doing anything else in game 1, so if you have them in the deck, hey, fire them off, blow up somewhere. We're not going to board into a Stone Rain package. They're in the tank here trying to work out what to do. If we hit Quintorius, they're kind of screwed both ways. If we hit Quintorius, we minus Quintorius, they have to decide, like, hey, if they exile Quintorius in response, that's fine. We get to copy the Carnosaur. Then if we're like, okay, well, here's a spot. Okay. So here we're going to replicate. Try and replicate the Carnosaur. At this point they can interrupt. Oh, okay. Never mind. Here's a Quintorius. But the deal is, now there's 3 things I need to answer. Clever Impersonator can come in as a copy of the Carnosaur. Fine for me. But we still have a Quintorius lying around in play. We're just going to both build an army and still be able to do good Quintorius bit of the combo. Bit of a weird one. But here we are. Impersonator again. We'll have it as a copy of Carnosaur. Body Double, we'll have a copy of Quintorius. So now, Discover 4 is a Spark Double. Copy Quintorius. Discover 4. Do it and do it again. If you're wondering like why I didn't copy Quintorius with the Quintorius the Clever Impersonator, it would be faster, right? In theory, clockwise, just because copying the Carnosaur is safer. All right, I think I'm happy with how we boarded this. Kind of hard to take anything from that one game, but I don't think we want the deck in the deck. I don't think we want, since I don't think Distortion's good enough. You can take these things where they still have a Carnosaur that still gets 3. And it's still interaction they can have. Consign to Bloom is an interesting one, but I'm not convinced by it. I'm pretty happy with the ingredients. I actually just picked up a place of foils and paper. That was intentionally for Teemo Rhinos, but we'll actually play in a sec maybe. Yeah, depending on how long this game 3 goes, I don't know if we'll get another match here. Alright, well that makes it easier then. Let's play another match. Alright. Yeah, opponent didn't fancy playing match 3 there for some reason. We've got a spot double, we've got Quintorius, but no interaction till applied. It is very, very bit of hopium, so again. Okay, this looks very solid. We put the spot double back on the bottom, we've got higher migration plus budget persistence, no interaction. Great. Your opponent's on. If they're playing another Discover combo deck, the screen. Looks like black red, would imagine, with a hive start. Yeah, don't know which variation though. Given everything, I'm just gonna shock this. We're gonna end up using high migration here. One of the reasons I really like this version of the deck is versus like you don't get the if you don't like have combos, so you can just ramp high migration, like have big things. So we lost a bone crusher giant there. Go ahead and do this. I want to find red, white, blue. I'll find it for us. That ends up being later on. Ramp here or interact? If we ramp here, we can combo next turn, which is a good spot. Yeah, because we want to untap land. Okay, fair enough. Let's end, see what the deal is. Instant speed answers to planeswalkers are a little tough to find, but they could have something like Bone Crusher Giant if they remember, well, not remember, but if they decide to hold it up. Right. There are some solid answers. And then we cast Shieldred, which is Shieldred. This time I'll find an island. That roll these. Ouch. Quintorius. -3 there. Oh, have to sally that Quintorius. That's a spot double. Spot double discover. This time we're getting 2 triggers. Spot double. I haven't got the Quintorius. Over again. They're on 6. We got the Quintorius. Go shopping again. And spot double another. Or will be weak. Alright. Game number 2. This was fairly quick. How's this likely to go? I'm not too worried about replicate here. I do think that being able to like diversify threats and things and go into like partners wasn't good. Again, don't really love thought distortion. We just want to be very solid here. Honestly, instant speed answers to planeswalkers there aren't a ton of. And so I'm just thinking, is there anything we actually want to trim? The consigns aren't great. I could see definitely removing these. Or Dazzle, can lose some of the smaller stuff. I don't mind bringing a couple of these in. Maybe we'll leave in one consign. We're killing here. Only these cards stop us actually. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna leave one consign on the deck. On a board like this. The other deck that I've not touched on, I was gonna maybe try and put out a video out between these, but I think probably will be this weekend or next week. Is the Amalia combo deck. A few different versions of that. It's been actually like a while, like a load of combo decks coming out of Lost Caverns. I've also got a bunch of Cavernous Souls like creature type decks, along with some like some stuff with the artifact shenanigans, which I'm super excited to play with as well. But I want to let it calm down like a little bit from the initial like discover spike. Maybe it's the problem with the servers. So last opponent just timed out. I don't know. Okay, it looks like they just. I'm gonna just gonna chuck a best of one game on the end of this. I think, and so I'll see you in a second. All right. Yeah, I thought I'd just like round the video off by playing one best of one game, just so we get to see like another matchup or some more gameplay. As we got 2 games of the mirror, and then 1 game versus Rakdos. This is a rough hand, but the Spot Double and Double Club impersonator, I think I want to mulligan this, even though we're Quintorius here. So mulligan. Home Migration, Carnosaur, Fine, and Binding, and a Keep 6. Put the sign on the bottom. Oh, we don't have a white. No, we can find a white source of migration, but I think this is okay. Green, white. Okay. Who do we get to? We kind of assume this is Angels. Yeah, Angels is an interesting one. I don't know what our equity is at answering their best starts instead of just playing through their life game. So that's an interesting one, I think. We may be doing some limit testing here. Overseer, not the actual worst. Right, we want to find a planes off of the home migration. And we chew a spot double. And not the end of the world. We're 2 turns off actually comboing. With a binding, I maybe just exile the Bishop of Wings. I've not done the actual maths on the maximum Quintorius damage. I have to binding the Bishop in response, but it still feels really bad. They're gonna go 20, 30. You can maybe find out the maths here. Okay, both stats. Let's see what they have. I have a Carnosaur I can use to interact. We can build a board state with Carnosaur the following turn if we don't kill him with Quintorius. But it's a really weird one. I don't know what the upper limit is here. Beaker gains trigger off barracks? No. Bishop doesn't. B does. That's it, then we'll win. They could be holding up some kind of removal spell, like the there's only really one way to find out. So here's a Quintorius. Drawing a spot double as well does reduce our damage output by a bit. So we'll see how this actually works. Alright, that's down to it. Okay, hitting the spot doubles sooner than later is good. So 2 damage. Copy here. The other thing is it might be like a really good time to like just try and climb with blue white control. Okay. Feather Impersonator isn't the greatest hit, but I don't know, we can just clone the Sparta double version, then we don't lose it. Don't make the accident. Not forget an accident play the wrong one. So this one will do 3. There we go again. We've drawn one spot double. This should be good. Do it. All right. Well, I'll let Frank cast and work out the upper limit of damage on. But looks like this time we get there. Yeah. All right. Post game, kind of post match wrap up here. Quintorius Kand, really powerful card. Obviously, combo stuff there. We saw some different options with the like Mythos copy effect. I've seen some other different variations that kind of like combine Quintorius elements. Obviously, you can still like do Carnosaur copying here, which lets you use Carnosaur as like a starter still. Pretty awesome. We did play against Angels there, which does have the ability to kind of like, hey, I'm just gonna gain like 70 life, try and kill me from this, which is pretty tough. Like you have 6 clone effects plus Quintorius, depending on how many clone effects you draw, you are kind of semi-capped at how much damage you can do. But at the same time, you're gaining a bunch of life. A bit of this and that. We have some interaction to try and stop them early with consign, the leyline bindings, things. That can be a tough one. Things like Ratdos, while they have tons of answers for creatures, will struggle a lot versus the Quintorius version of the deck where they just don't have very good Planeswalker answers. Admittedly, like you might see like Thoughtseize and Duress, and this deck has less ways to kind of like look for Quintorius. But then Ratdos also will struggle to beat like a higher migration. So there's that too. It's pretty interesting. This version of the deck is slower, but I think more consistent. The Geomancer version of the deck is still really good. Both like quite a bit of work to do, like tuning them. I think. Have like of both. We didn't really see much sideboard stuff here. I'm still not totally sold on these Shepherd monitors, but the Repudiates and the Bedeck seem fine for like the different matchups. I'm really excited to repudiate a like Fable Passage or something. But yeah, deck's really good. Also, I'm not sure what's going to go on with like at the minute. Ladder's a bit of a mess. We played like one mirror there, but I've been playing mirrors all week. I've been like, oh, let me just like hop on, play a couple of games, and just be like, oh, okay. Playing mirrors, let me just log back off. And that is kind of miserable. I don't necessarily think the deck is too good for the format, though it is pretty busted, and at the minute has warped out the way things look. But it might just mean that some other decks kind of get some space, like class control stuff, things like Hate Bears. Kind of interesting. See how people react in terms of like different sideboard cards. Again, Drannith Magistrate, incredible cards like that. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments if you think it's too busted. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Got a bunch of more stuff coming, hopefully. And yeah, please do like, subscribe, share around, all that kind of stuff if you enjoyed it. Really appreciate it. It supports me. I also do technically have a member function enabled on my channel. It is like £1, I believe, because you're not really getting much, but you get access to videos as soon as I've kind of uploaded them, rather than I'll normally schedule them in advance. So that's like a level upside, and you get like a cool badge next to your name. But hey, if you want to contribute and help that way, that'd be awesome too. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace out.